there.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Above Par Golf Show. Today, my guest is Stephen Garner, amateur golfer, avid golfer, and he's playing off a 1.1 handicap at the moment. Stephen, how you doing, buddy?
All good, Alex, yourself?
Very good, mate. Thanks for joining me today.
No, right. Thanks for having me.
So you've listened to the podcast a little bit yourself, so you know that I kind of like to go way back with everybody and kind of hear their stories. So do you want to tell everybody a little bit about yourself in terms of golf, how you got started and your story up until now?
Yeah, no worries. So I started golf probably a little bit later than maybe some of the other people I play with. So I started when I was about 13, 14. And it was literally one of my mates that I met at school said that he'd played it quite a lot since he was a kid. Did I want to go and just join him for a game? They used to play at a par 3 course up the road from us. My granddad said I've got some old clubs that he could get hold of if I wanted to do it, and I did, and I loved it straight away. So I started playing golf course near us called Wavendon, and people that are from around here will know that place. It was just like sort of where we all started. It was at a par 3 course, had a pitch and putt, quite a decent driving range, and then like an 18-hole course that was probably not as hard as maybe some of the other courses you'd play. And we all started there. Turns out quite a lot of my friends at the time sort of played the game and had played there, and kind of built it from there. Really, they're quite accepting of juniors there as well, which was nice. I don't think you had to pay to be a member there. You just, as a junior, you just had to say, of course. And it wasn't like free golf, but you got sort of a reduced round for the 18 hole. And when you're 13, 14, you're not really thinking about spending the money. You go to your parents, and they're probably happy not to have to pay too much. From there just became obsessed. Like I know you've said in your podcasts that you only started a year ago, and
you
can't, once you start, you can't stop. It is literally a bug. And I kind of progressed from there. I had a few lessons at Wavendon when I first started, just like I think you got like a 6 starter set, and I've pretty much sort of self-taught myself since there. I started having lessons now actually. But from there I kind of self-taught myself, played with mates, and played to quite a good level.
I saw on your Instagram page, if anybody wants to check you out, it's Garner_golf. You talked a little bit about the new coach. I think it was, I can't remember when you published it, but you said you had a new coach fairly recently. So in terms of your golf journey then, when you first started, what was your sort of kind of first handicap that you were recording?
I think the first handicap I ever had was 12.
Wow.
So I didn't. So I sort of dotted around a few courses. So we started at Wavendon, went to another course near us where it was an old, back in the day was different than how it is now, and it wasn't very welcoming to juniors. You didn't get the competitions. You didn't get, there wasn't a junior section, if you will. It wasn't like a captain and anything like that. So we didn't really get a chance to sort of progress as juniors. We just kind of played for fun with friends, and then. I moved to Millbrook, where I'm a member now, and they had a brilliant junior section run by Rob Brightman, who is now the general manager of the club, and he did a brilliant job, looked after us. We had competitions, we got to play in some of the ones that would link to sort of bigger competitions. So the HSBC was a junior match play thing back in the day. We had to qualify for that, and if you won it, you got tickets to go to watch their match play at Wentworth.
Oh, nice.
So I won that one way back when, and me and the pal went and spent the day there.
Class.
And obviously, when you're young, golf's a brilliant game. You watch it on the telly, and when you go and watch professionals play, it changes your perception of what golf is and what good golf is.
Ridiculous.
It's a different level of golf. From there, Millbrook kind of progressed me as a golfer. I was a member there for a long time as a junior. I worked there when I was 18. I worked in the pro shop for a little while, and that was when I was working with another assistant, with the assistant pro at the time in the pro, and kind of getting a bit of a feel for what working in golf would be like. And don't ask me why, it's probably one of the biggest regrets. I went just out into the working world instead, and I kind of put golf to the side for a little while. I regret that big time, because I would have because I think at that time my handicap was around sort of 5 or 6, right. And I kind of thought I was never going to be a professional. I don't think.
How often were you practicing and playing at that point then when your handicap was that low?
When we were younger, sort of 15, 16, 17, school holidays, when we finished school, when we had cars, you get dropped off at the club by one parent in the morning when the sun was up, and we would stay up there. We'd play golf in the morning, bit of lunch, practice if we were terrible, and if we didn't played another 18. Just wanted to keep practicing and playing and practicing and playing, and we'd get picked up at when it was dark. You couldn't even see. You're waiting for someone to finish work.
Yeah.
Back then you had time.
Sure.
With the jobs and everything, that obviously changed. But yeah, we were dedicating hours and hours and hours. And when you work at a golf club as well, and finish work, grab a buggy and nip out for a quick 9 holes.
Yeah, I was going to say that must have helped when you were working there. I think a lot of players that have got, like, let's say, really low handicaps, or they've got good stories or successful, even if it's amateur careers, there's a lot of them whereby they got like a part-time job or full-time job at a golf club just to kind of do what you said, right? Finish work, go straight onto the course. To
be close to the golf club, yeah.
Yeah, basically.
I work in London, so it's a 2-hour commute there and back. So when I finish work, if I finish work at 5:30, I'm not getting home and getting out on the course. So the range, weekends, but when now I've got a family now, so at times sort of dwindles down and down. I wouldn't change that for the world, but golf suffers a little bit at times, but that is part and parcel of life.
Yeah, it's an expensive sport though as well, isn't it? It's like, it's obviously we've all got to work, and unless you're lucky and you've already got some sort of money or whatever, I mean, it's an expensive sport to keep up with, and one that you need to be taking a lot of time out of your schedule, as you said, to be practicing every day or every couple of days, man. It's difficult.
Absolutely. I think when we were younger, it was more a case of, you didn't really appreciate the cost of golf because, your parents were footing the bill. But now you're older and you're paying for things. I remember back when I was younger, if I had a bad shot, I'd smack a club on the ground or throw it or hurl it about every now and again. Like, you'd snap a shaft or something like that, and you'd be like, "Oh, brilliant, got to go get it fixed." Now I'm like, "Whoa, not throwing anything because it comes out of my pocket."
Yeah, for sure. What have you got in the bag at the moment? What have you got in the bag at the moment? What brand are you on?
So I'm a bit of a mixed bag, to be fair. I've always had. I've never really been set by one brand. So I've got Titleist driver, Callaway Freewood, and then Mizuno irons and wedges, and a TaylorMade putter. So literally a different brand for every section.
Massive mix. Yeah.
And that comes from my coach is the sort of head fitter over at Woburn, and I got my irons done with him, wedges and driver done with him, and I'm that confident in him that I said to him that, I'd just give me something, put it in my hand. I won't ask what it is. I don't want to know what shaft it is. I don't care if it works, if it gets the numbers, if it gets, gets my shots back. I've got a bit of a 2-way miss. So I don't, I can go anywhere. So if you can bring that disparity down, and I'll be honest with you, I know he's teaching me now, but the clubs alone have changed my game. I used to have, because I'm quite tall, I used to have inch longer clubs because I thought that was right. And turns out they were actually too long. So they're only half an inch extension now.
Right.
So I was hitting it further out the heel because they were too long. See, that's where you think you know what you're talking about. And then you go with someone who actually knows what you're talking about and shows it you're talking rubbish.
No, I think it's something that everybody should do, right? Once you get to a certain level, get yourself in like a swing studio and get fitted out and all that kind of stuff, because you could probably, I mean, not all the time, but somebody could see massive differences in the game, right? And the distances you get, etc.
Driver was a huge one for me because I hit the ball quite far, but if it goes wrong, it goes really wrong. Like, it costs me, you lose balls, you can really rip your round apart. And
what's your kind of miss then? Is it a slide, a hook? What were you doing?
So I've got, before I started having my lessons, I had a bit of a 2-way miss. So I was aiming a bit too far left and then coming on the inside too much, and my hands were either flipping over too much or not. So I was either pushing it or flipping it, which is lovely. It's lovely not knowing where the ball's going. But the driver was one where, if it was bad, if it went either way, you'd lose it big time. And
Yeah, you're not talking first court, you're talking at LB.
Yeah, you're talking different holes, different counties at times. It's that bad. But the new driver just it's a bit shorter, which is one funny. I had a TaylorMade driver before, and I didn't know this, but when I was having the fitting, TaylorMade clubs tend to be longer, I believe, is what El said in general. So I think it was playing at 45 3/4. So my driver's now 45 inches, which is quite a drop.
Yeah, it's quite a difference in.
And I didn't feel, when I had it in my hand, I didn't feel like, I always thought like that would make me feel like I was slumped, like I was out of control, but I felt more comfortable over it straight away. And I don't feel that massive miss is there anymore.
Okay.
Which is good for me, because obviously with a bit of distance, if you can keep it in the fairway, it makes golf a lot easier. What
degree is the driver?
9.
Right. Okay.
So I was over spinning the ball a bit too much. I had a 9 degree before, extra stiff, but it was the wrong head shaft combo. So slightly lighter shaft, but it just offers me more. I gained yardage, which I said in the thing, I don't really need to gain yardage. That wasn't what I wanted to do.
You already hit it big, right? You just want to get more accuracy.
Yeah, tighten up the dispersion, because it was wild at times. And then this made a huge difference, and there was a bit of a gain.
It's one of those, isn't it? You could hit a bad iron shot or a chip or whatever and still get away with, let's say, a bogey or double bogey. But if you're hitting it bad off the tee, it could just starts off not the bad foot, doesn't it? Especially if it goes out of bounds.
It's soul destroying, if I'm honest. A bad tee shot, you're out of a hole before you begin. Especially when you're playing with good players as well, you're behind straight away.
For sure. And you mentioned then that you kind of stopped then, like you said, you were playing obviously when you were younger a lot, and then kind of life started, right? And then you have to get a job and all that kind of stuff. So did you completely drop off the face of it? Like, were you not playing at all? Was it just barely, or how long were you kind of out for before you then started again?
Well, I was out for quite a while, actually. I kind of stopped. I stopped for, I can't think back now how long it was, but I went into the industry that I'm in now, which is quite golf heavy, actually. I'm a salesman effectively. I'm working I'm an account manager by title. So there's a lot of golf. We do golf days. We do stuff in client entertain on golf courses. But back when I first started, I was more in the office role, so didn't get out a lot. But with the job that I took up, eventually they had like a corporate membership with a different golf club that in the local area still, but a little bit closer to where I worked. So I joined there, and I played there for a few years, and so my handicap got down to 3, and that was kind of the best I got to. And then I literally at that point dropped off, stopped playing. I started playing football again, which was a strange one for me. I played football a lot when I was younger. I just happened to pop out on a night out with a couple of guys I knew, and they mentioned that they played for this Saturday league team, and did I want to get involved? And I did. And at the time, playing football on a Saturday afternoon and golf on a Sunday, and trying to have a relationship was a hard juggle. Like, I know you had Josh on last week. So obviously I know as you know, we've known Josh through Instagram. That boy has got serious dedication to the game.
I know, right? I said
I
don't know how he does
I wouldn't get away with that.
yeah, it's madness, isn't it? I mean, I think the good thing for him is that he talks a little bit about it in that episode about how it's kind of his getaway, isn't it? Obviously, on that episode we talked a little bit kind of about mental health and his battles with that, and for him that's kind of his getaway and way to kind of get back into, I don't know, like a normal mindset. So
so when he's having a bad day, or it's kind of his release to get himself back at. I guess when you're playing golf, your mind drifts to the golf. You focus on the golf. You don't. Sure. If you keep your phone in your bag, whatever, you can walk around on your own. Like he says, like you've seen from some of his videos, he plays on his own quite a lot. For me, I've never really enjoyed playing golf on my own. I do every now and again. I'll do it. No, not really. Just because I like having a chat with someone when I'm playing around. That's true. I like the competitiveness as well. If I'm playing with somebody, if there's 2 of you, you tend to have a game, don't you? A match play. Or what I found a lot over the last year, 18 months over lockdown, there's 4 guys there's 4 of us that play together quite a lot, and we you know, that the match that happens with Bryson and Phil and
Yeah,
all those kind of guys. We've started our own. We call it the match. We do pairs match play, and I've always loved match play. I've always loved pairs competition, because you know, I'm a bit of a team player, so I love playing pairs competitions any time you can. And we've kind of carried that on throughout lockdown. When it first started, we were having two groups and using an app to track how we were getting on. And then when you're back to 4, I just enjoy that, you know, the banter when you're playing. I feel like you play better golf as well when you've got someone. When you're on your own, if you're playing bad, it's down to yourself. If you've got a partner or you're playing pairs or a team game, like I'm alive a little bit more. Like I want to do well for the other person as well.
So what was it that kind of got you so into it in the first place? And like, what was the standout thing or reason for loving golf so much for you? Was it like competitiveness, like competing, or what was it?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I've always been a lover of sports. I play football, I play tennis, I play golf. You know, anything I have a go at sports related. And my mate who got me into it, Craig, is my best mate. We've always had this competitive nature against each other. When we were kids, you know, you'd want to be better at football, play FIFA, something like that. You know, PlayStation games, anything like that. It's always competition. And obviously, he was a bit ahead of me in the golf, and he wanted to. You know, when you first get there, he's better than me. So I'm like, no, I don't enjoy that.
not standing for this.
No, I wanted to improve. I wanted to get better than him, and then from there on, you know, as soon as you start and you hit a decent shot or you hole a putt or something when you're young, when you first started, you understand. You want to carry it on. I never thought I would enjoy golf either when I was younger. I've always watched it on telly.
Yeah, me neither. Because I was just gonna say, because I was a football guy as well, and when you were talking before about whatever smashing the clubs, or you know, I was that kind of person as well. I picked up the golf clubs for you know, I don't know, about 5 to 6, 7 times. I can't remember, on different occasions where I'd be like, right, I'm definitely going to start golf this time. I'm going to stick with it. And I'd go to the driving range and I'd just get pissed off after a couple of shots and smack it on the floor, and that was it. It was done.
So frustrating.
As I got older, I just matured a little bit now and managed to stick with it.
When you're younger, I think same thing. I lose my head a bit quicker than I do now.
It's just for me. It was the football for me though, because obviously I'm not old school. I'm not even 30 yet, but like I watched, you know, like my dad play football, and I'd seen, you know, a lot. Like I'm a United supporter, so I watched a lot of United during the 90s, and when it was a real physical game, not like it is now. And like I used to love all that Sunday league football, all those big tackles, tough game of football. So for me, I always had that kind of, not anger, but just that, I don't know, like really want to win, and just it is competitive, competitive edge. I just wanted to win. I wanted to be physical. Like I didn't want to hurt anybody, but I wanted to win every ball, win every tackle, and win every game. And for me, there was no point playing a game without winning. So when I went into golf, like you said, it's a complete opposite in golf, in terms of like, you've got to keep you calm. Everything's got to be relaxed. You know, if you tighten up your hands during the golf swing, you're knackered, aren't you? So you just got to keep everything relaxed, and it was quite a big change for me. I think that was why.
Yeah, it is. Some people won't ever. So my dad started to try to play golf, tried to take it up when quite later on, when I was maybe 17, 18. He tried to get involved, and he hasn't got he ain't got the temperament for it. Not a chance. No, he tried. No. He invested in some clubs and gave it a go, but no, it was never. When he first took it up, I thought to myself straight away, you've got the temperament for this, mate.
Yeah, it's a shame, isn't it, though, because like even me now, I started, you know, let's say seriously at probably 27 years old. Like I'm so annoyed that I wasn't into it, say at your age, you know, when you were playing when you were younger. I'm so annoyed, not just because I could have been a lot better than I am now, or it would have been a lot easier, instead of, you know, I'm putting in all the hard work now at 20 or 29 I am now to try and get good. But just like I feel like I've missed out on, let's say, 10 years that I could have been playing golf, you know.
Enjoyed the enjoyment of it. Yeah, but to be fair, mate, you 27 is late, and I even at 14 when I started, I thought I felt now like I've missed out on, you know, 7 years maybe. If I'd started when I was 6, 7, you know, what would I be better? Would I be worse? You know, would I still be doing it? But I would rather,
who knows? At
least we got to do it at some point.
Exactly, that's what I was going to say. I mean, fortunately, I'm just doing it now, which is the main thing. But no, it's a good point, because I spoke to somebody on one of the other episodes about, people that get into it at a young age, and looking at the flip side of it, it can kind of burn you out, especially if you're like a real competitive golfer. I mean, I watched like the Netflix series that's out about the young kids that start at whatever 4 or 5 years old, and how hard they're exactly, like how hard
I've watched it about
parents,
4 times. Great film.
Exactly the same, man. And how their parents push them so hard, and that they're literally in tears and crying and getting stressed out about golf at the age of 5, 6, 7, and it's like that can't be healthy at the same time.
It's the parents as well. I feel like they're more invested than the kids at times. Like,
for sure.
I've got a little boy, and I'm excited for him to start playing sports. But like, if he wants to play golf, I'll help him play golf. If he wants to play football, I'll let him. I'm not going to force him to do what he doesn't want to do like that. That did put me off, that, because I would have lent him towards golf because I enjoy it so much, and I'd like to play with him one day on a course, or as a partner, or against him, if I'm honest. But seeing those parents, I'm like, the dads that are smashing the clubs into the bag and crying with their kids. I'm like, well, that's not how I would want to do it. I get it. Some of them, there's the one guy, whose daughter's the Tigress, I think she calls herself.
Yeah, Avery.
Yeah, I think she's still a really good player now. She's
playing. I saw her at one of the tours, actually, the one that's trying to qualify for the LPGA. I can't remember which one it is, but she's playing on one of the tours to try and get onto the LPGA.
But he was I think he stopped. I think if I remember right at the end of the film, he'd said,
he's done.
And that was probably the best thing that would happen for her, because he was causing more anxiety for her than needed to be. But then you look at some of the people, some of the characters, but some people you've never really heard of before. But I know one of them has played on the LPGA, so you can see that they obviously had the talent when they were young, and it is progressing into something. And then you had like Alan Kournikova, who's he had the resources in the background to.
Well, I was going to say, I think pretty much every member of their family is some sort of athlete in some sort of sport. It's amazing.
And he had a personal trainer and all that at like 4, 5, 6. I'm like that. If you wanted to become an athlete, that's your dream, isn't it? At that age, have someone that goes, right, come on, up you get, rather than the kids of today that want to just play PlayStation.
But they probably missed out on the whole childhood, though, maybe.
Yeah, that's the thing. You're just trying to get that balance, isn't it?
For sure, man. And so you mentioned that you were playing in some tournaments as well. Then, when you were a little bit younger, are you still like competing now? Are you trying to enter tournaments? Or you just play for fun at the moment? Like, what you do at the moment? Yeah.
So my plan was like I rejoined Millbrook properly again last year. My plan was to do my handicap last year and then start competing again. And obviously with lockdown and having a young child at the time, I didn't have the time, and I just thought every time that I think, right, I'm going to put my card in, I'm going to really focus on it today. You get 4 of you together and you play like those matches, and I'm more interested in winning the pairs match. I forget about my score. I don't focus on my game. I'm trying to win a match. So I didn't really dedicate to my game, if you will. I just dedicated it to fun. But this year I was like, I'm doing it. I'm going to get my handicap. If I'm honest, my handicap's 1.1. And I think that's not a true reflection of my golf, if I'm honest. Okay. And that's the new handicap system with that. Because Josh, JMac Golf, he's off 1.4.
I believe so,
and I look at him playing, I look at his videos and his scores, and he is better than me. He's better than my golf at the moment. So my handicap scores were, I put in a 3 over, an 8 over, an 8 over. So I would have expected maybe a 5 or a 6, something like that. And I got 1.1.
Is that all on the same course, those scores?
Yeah, all at Millbrook. All same sort of conditions within 3 weeks, I think they were.
Is it a tough course, that one?
Yeah. Anyone that plays it in so I live in Bedfordshire, so that when we ever played competitions against other clubs, we always people used to say, Millbrook's probably, if you're a 8 at Millbrook, you're a 6 here or a 5 here, because it's long. It's fairly open in places, but there is, if in some holes, if you get it wrong, you're really in trouble. Bit of water here and there, but it starts par five, and quite a long, difficult par four.
Right.
And I think for the ladies, it's par five start.
Wow.
So it's a brutal start.
Well, I mean, it could go either way, right? You could, and you get yourself a birdie or two, and all of a sudden you got your confidence up.
Oh yeah, I've been 2 under through 3 playing that loop. I've been 7 over playing that loop. You know, it's
the beauty of it.
When the wind picks up. When the wind and the rain picks up, and if you're playing the second hole, especially, is 560, I think it is 570, 550, 560 off the whites, and most of the time it's into wind as well. And if it's really windy, it's a long old slog.
Yeah.
So if you don't hit it far, you're probably looking at a driver, fairway wood, and possibly another just to get to the green.
Wow. So what's your sort?
Many places.
So what's your sort of plan then? You said obviously you're going to try and get your handicap and get back to this club. Then, like, you think you'll start to enter other tournaments in the future? Or
the plan. Yeah, so the plan is, well, the plan for the current time is I've got another child due in next week, week after next. Mate. Cheers, mate. So that will be the focus, obviously, for now. I'll nip out to the range and as and when I can, but my focus is to, as my bio says on my thing, my main focus was to get to single figures again. My now focus is to stay at single figures or maintain a good handicap.
Sure.
But I want to compete at Millbrook in club competitions, things like that. I want to get back into the scratch team there. I want to play for the club. I want to get involved in open competitions, so get about like I did when I was younger. Sort of pairs competitions. We've got a couple of guys that want to go out and play in open competitions out and about. I just want to get back to competing, playing golf, and hopefully I'd love to start winning a few things again. I won a few things when I was at Millbrook when I was younger. When you go in there and you've got the boards up above the bar and you see your name up there, it's nice.
Yeah,
so it's a nice thing. I feel proud about it, if I'm honest. So one day I'll take my boy in there and be like, yeah, look, daddy's up there.
Yeah, it'd be nice going for a pint and see yourself up there.
Yeah, so look, there's daddy's name. Yeah, that's the thing. I've got 3 majors there, they're called up there, but 2 of them pairs and one's a singles one. So as you can see, I prefer a team game.
Well, I mean, it's good though that you've won singles and teams. Best of both. Good for you, man.
Absolutely.
So what led you to create the Instagram stuff then? I mentioned before you can find you on Garner_golf. So what made you start that page and start publishing your stuff on there?
Well, with lockdown and everything, I've been furloughed sort of full-time and part-time throughout. I'm still part-time furloughed at the moment, so a bit of reduced hour work. Found myself, lost at times for things to do. Obviously, golf was, when it was shut down, was painful. You can putt in your house and chip and things like that, but it's only so far you can get without wanting to smash a ball.
Sure.
You're limited with your garden of how far you can smash a golf ball. And I enjoyed watching golf content. I've always enjoyed watching YouTube content. Some of the guys like TXG, the Tour Experience Golf guys, some of the American guys, the good golf, obviously Peter Finch, Rick Shields, all those sort of guys. It's good content. I enjoy, what's in the bag stuff and people getting fit for clubs. I'm just a bit of a golf geek, if I'm honest. I thought, well, I posted some odd stuff of my swing or golf on my normal Instagram. I was thinking, do the people that I follow or follow me really care? If you're not into golf, you see a golf thing on someone's Instagram, you're not gonna look at it.
Sure.
I thought if I'm gonna commit to having a good handicap again if I want to, and trying to get somewhere with it, have a golf, do my own content, see how I get on, and one of my mates said, it'll give you accountability for your own golf. I was like, it's a really good point, because once you get to somewhere, you want to be posting on the page, you want to be doing stuff. You're conscious that you haven't posted anything and people are going to be losing interest. And also I thought, there must be some other people out there that enjoy the golf, want to talk about it a bit more, or are interested in what, maybe not interested in what I've got to say or what I think, but you can connect with good people. And within for a couple of weeks, really, like having conversations with people on there about all sorts of stuff. Like the guys here, the Swing King apparel guys, they were probably one of the early people that I followed. Just, you know, I'm all for the smaller brands or new brands that have come out that want to do something in golf. You know, like you say, you've got brands that are established in the game. Your Nikes, your Pings, like you with Galvingreen. This is a brilliant brands. They've dominated the market, and then you've got smaller guys that are still doing great things. Local people that you're interested to hear their stories or help out. And you know, the guys at Swing King, I said to them just a little message, you know, I love some of the stuff. I bought a jumper from them. They sent me a couple of bits, and I love it. I think it's brilliant stuff. And why would you not want to help grow those brands? You know, I still love, you know, FootJoy golf shoes or G4 golf shoes or all that stuff. I'm happy to wear that and talk about that. But if you can help promote a smaller brand or someone, and you know, they give you the free personalizations with the Garner golf, and I love all that sort. I love all that sort of stuff. All personalized stuff. You know, you got one of the other guys, Aloha Golf, who do head covers.
Yeah, you got your little logo on there, right?
That's so that was that was years ago. That was Glam Golf, and they've blown up actually. They've done really well. They provide stuff to Rick Shields and a couple of European tour guys. But that was just an idea that came from my work. I wouldn't really say it was my logo. It's Incredible from the Incredibles.
Well, yeah.
Someone I used to
like it's the one that you've got on your Instagram.
Yeah. Because I didn't have a logo. I was like, what can I use? I just want to put a picture of me. I thought that might draw a bit of attention to someone if they're looking. Someone I used to work with used to call me Incredible. He said I look like Incredible.
There you
so
go.
That'd be a laugh to put that on a golf cover. I wonder what that'd look like and cost. And I've had it for years. It drums up some interesting conversation. Like those guys, like Aloha Golf, just a small like head cover company, made some cool prints. On Etsy of all places, you know, selling. I didn't know you could even get golf stuff on Etsy. You know, I'm happy to help them guys out. Pop a purchase, pop a couple of posts. You know, it's good stuff. Like,
I agree. Sort of me and Josh were talking about that as well, and it's not just with the brands. I mean, you know, we were just talking about in general with people in the golf industry. It's been really kind of eye-opening and nice. Like ever since I started to get involved with my page, obviously I've met yourself, I met Josh, and got talking to people really quickly. And you know, like players, caddies, coaches, whatever, brands. So yeah, it's been nice. People just want to talk about golf. People just want to, you know, help you out as well. When I first started, you know, I've said on here a couple of times, I obviously wanted to talk to interested people like yourself and like Josh. And I was thinking, well, you know, maybe most people are going to say no because it's a brand new channel. It's not doing anything yet. But pretty much everybody I've reached out to has said, yeah, sure, jump on and do an episode and we'll chat some golf. It's been class. And yeah, the stuff with, you know, Galvingreen, I felt the same way as what kind of you mentioned there. I mean, they're not maybe the biggest brands of like Adidas or Nike, but they're not the only ones that are producing good stuff, you know.
Absolutely.
I've already been aware of Galvingreen just because my golf teacher, does a little bit of work for them or with them as well. He's an extra.
I've known about him.
Yeah,
I said to you, I messaged you as soon as I saw it come up on your thing. I was like, that's such a good. It's a great sponsor for the channel. Anything like that you can get involved with and help them sort of raise awareness or talk to them about is great. Sure. And like you say, look, like with you, like we've messaged quite a lot about the channel, the page, and sort of where the game's going and what we're doing, talking about tournaments and stuff. Josh, J-Mac, I talk to him low, honestly. It's almost daily. We're chatting about golf and clubs and things. We've got quite similar bag setups. Talking about wedges last night, about, you know, I've got a certain set that he's now testing. Just talking about opinions and things like I don't know if you saw my story. Go on, you can say something.
Yeah, I was just saying it's just about like learning from each other as well, isn't it? You know, I'm not a great golfer still because I'm still whatever a year and a half into it, and speaking to people like yourself and Josh, you know, I can learn from other people. I think that's been really cool as well.
And I don't know if you saw my post or story yesterday, day before. Josh hooked me up with a rangefinder.
Yeah.
Like that is, I've never met the guy. We've just spoken on Instagram. He's hooked me up with that, and it's a really good product. I've always considered having one, but I've got a watch, and it was is it better? Is it not? And
Yeah,
so try this, and I've given it one. Had a go of it this week, and I love it. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
But to do that for someone you've never met and you just chatted to on Instagram,
Nice, isn't it? Yeah.
You wouldn't. I don't think you'd get that. Would you get that if you're chatting to him? Like, maybe, yeah. I think he's just a nice guy. You don't get many people like him, for me.
Yeah, I mean, I did an interview with a woman called Jasmine yesterday, who's she's Jasmine Crossfield. She's I think it's golf_fitness_girl or something on Instagram, and she's like really into obviously a fitness side, but also hooked on the golf. And she was quite a competitor in, I think it was, they call it like the show horses, I think it is, like the horse jumping in, like. And she said, like, those kind of industries, or whether it's fashion or whatever, they can be really, really competitive, and people won't necessarily be so open to helping you. Whereas with golf, like I said, it doesn't matter. I've been reaching out to Bogey Boys podcast. I don't know if you've ever heard of those, but just chatted with them, and we've said, like, we'll do a podcast on yours, or come on and do one on mine. And even though we're technically competing against each other in terms of doing a podcast on YouTube and on Spotify, and that, they've been more than happy just to reach out and do some sort of collab. So yeah, I think it's pretty interesting. It's something I've not seen before, that seems to just be this really nice connection in the golf industry. It's nice, man.
It's more that, like you say, you are effectively competing against each other, but the benefit is that you're reaching out to maybe a different audience that they've got that they might not know about you, and vice versa. It's more people. If it benefits your channel, if it benefits their channel, why would you not? But then I just think the golf industry, the world is different. It's people are happy to chat about golf because it's a passion of everyone's.
Sure.
And like you say, when you said a minute ago about helping people out, a chap I posted something that I can't remember. I was about a quarter zip I was wearing from Swing King guys, and I wanted to wear it, and I wore it to IKEA. I posted about that because it was a bit rainy, a bit horrible. I thought that'll keep me warm. And CJ Golf is this Chris James, just like yourself, very new to the game, and he just messaged me saying, "Oh, it's that's a nice jumper. Where'd you get it from?" Sort of said about it, and we've chatted a couple of times since then. We were chatting during the US Open, cheering on John Rahm, and he puts every now and again like a question up on his story, and I'll answer it. Like one was about a golf bag, what to go for, and then one was a swing tip for like longer irons.
Okay.
Now, I'm a bit dubious about these sort of things because, all right, my handicap might suggest that I play off 1.1, but my golf swing and my golf game is very personable to me. It might not help anybody else, but I just said to him, like, try this. This is something I did back in the day when I was first starting to try, and I think he was looking for just a bit more consistency with them. And he said, I'll go and try it tomorrow. And he broke 100 for the first time.
Wow.
So
that helped him.
Yeah, but all right, that's not me. I'm not a golf teacher or of any kind. I would never say I was, but to see that and think, you've potentially, he did say, like, we tried to try it. He said, I was hitting my irons better, my longer irons really well, like, much better than before. That's a nice thing. And when you're first starting the game, you want to hit these milestones, if you will. And
sure,
that was a nice thing. And like, I think in other industries, would you get that help, or would people be willing to offer you little tips and advice? Like say in the horse world, is it selfish that my sister used to be quite competitive in the horse show jumping and all that.
Okay, cool.
World. So I mean, I've been involved and I've seen it. But I've not seen the side that you mentioned there. But it's like most sports, isn't it? Let's be honest, everyone's competitive to a point. But golf's just you appreciate good golf. I played in the week with my mate, another friend of mine who's a pro up at Woburn, and we played with a young lad called Jensen Hull. And he's won the Jamaica Tour recently, and he's got to be one of the best golfers I've ever played with.
Really?
Yeah. Now, myself and Harry, who we played with, he's a professional. We weren't playing well really between us, and I was like, this is so enjoyable just to be part of, because I think he was 2 over through the first 2, and he finished 1 under gross. And we were playing the Duchess, which is, I think it slopes at like 139, so it's
right.
It's hard.
Yeah.
But to see someone like that, just plod around the golf course with it felt like it was with ease. Or I think I started terribly, but then I played the back line really well. I think it was like I really wanted to keep up and compete and play well against him.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like you can
Just
see
it's the consistency, isn't it, with people like that?
You can see the gap between good quality and unreal in golf.
Yeah, I agree.
There is a level of better golfer, and I think he turned pro like 2 weeks ago.
Oh wow, okay.
So I'm like, yeah, I'm interested to see where it takes him, because I know Josh was saying he wants to come over and play like the Jamaica Tour, and one of the guys that plays at Millbrook that we've known for a long time plays on the Jamaica, and he's qualifying for the Euro Pro. So there is some really good golf around.
Yeah,
that made me think, well, yeah, I'm not that good.
Yeah, well, you got time. Yeah, you
yeah,
just a little bit more. But
well, no, I'm 31, and I think he was 20, 21. So yeah, I'm behind.
Where do you think your game's at the moment then? Like I've seen some of your content obviously on your Instagram page, and it seems like you have like really high hands on your swing, really, whereby they then go really kind of close to the back of your head. You're really kind of round here when you finish your swing, aren't you?
John Daly-esque. It gets at the top of the swing. Yeah, I've always swung it long and hard. I've tried for a long time to. I remember when I was younger, I thought I'm hitting it too hard. I'm gonna try and shorten my swing and this, and I sort of lost control. And my boss said to me, "Why have you stopped smacking it so hard?" I'm just trying to get better. It's like you're better when you are aggressive and you're hitting it. It's your swing. Yeah, it's your swing. You've played it for a long time. You can't change that. And I think that's why I never really had lessons, because I grip it really strong, and it's not a conventional grip. It's not a conventional swing. I'm not a conventional golfer, and I guess I've been scared to have lessons in the sense that they'd go in there and change it. Yeah, and I'll be like, I'd be like, I've lost. But as soon as I went in there, my first lesson with Elle from Woven recently, just said that, are you going to change everything? He's like, no. I was like, no, you can play golf. It's quite clear you can hit a golf ball. I'm just going to make a few tweaks here and there. So I used to aim really far left, but I thought I was aiming dead straight. And it's not until someone shows you that on a screen or on a camera, and you go, whoa, wow, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Then I'm obviously I'm compensating for that in my swing, knowing that I'm there, but I don't know, if you know what I mean. It's hard to explain, but
no, I know what you mean, yeah.
But that progression and that change has made me think, well, why haven't I done this earlier? Again, stupid. Like you say, I've missed out potentially on better years of golf for not trying to improve. But yeah, my game's kind of, well, obviously with the handicap, that's made me think, right, I better start really investing in it. I played a couple of times this week, and at times I've hit shots. I'm like, yeah, there you go. There's the decent golfer.
That's the old one.
And then I've hit shots. I've gone, who the hell's that? That's shocking. But I think just consistency. I need to practice more. I need to play more when I get the time. And I need a couple of lessons. I just feel like with everything with golf, you've just got to be consistent.
Yeah, practice. But it's interesting what you said there about the about hitting it hard. I was watching an interview actually, funny, just yesterday, of Charlie Hull, who's obviously a brilliant female golfer that's had a lot of success already from England, and she was talking about how when she was starting to play in like right at the start of her junior career, she was playing with guys all the time because there wasn't many ladies around. And she basically just learned to hit the ball as hard as she could because she was playing against guys all the time. And at the time, her coaches recommended that is the best way to go about it, because you can just hit it as hard as you can. And then what you can start to do from there, if you're not getting a lot of, maybe accuracy or consistency from the shot, you can always just kind of tone it down to the level where you need it to be, whereby you're hitting it hard and you're still getting the accuracy. Whereas if you start off kind of like barely hitting it, or you're hitting it too hard, it's then, and you get into that rhythm, it's very then hard to go the kind of opposite way with it, whereby you've then got to try and increase your speed and increase the power and start to try and hit it really hard in order to get distance, because then you're just going to lose all the kind of accuracy. So they do actually say that it is, I mean, a lot of them do say that it's better to start by just hitting it as hard as you can and then trying to dial it down, rather than being really cautious and hitting it soft. Yeah, because you might get a good swing in players and you're not getting the distance, but then as soon as you try and speed it up and hitting it too hard, you're going to lose everything you've been doing and lose accuracy and all the rest of it. So yeah, it's a good point that you make there, and it's good that you stuck with that.
I always just, I think I was in the mindset that, like most people would be, if you hit it harder, it's going to go further. But obviously that comes at a cost if you hit it bad. But yeah, Charlie Hull, followed her for a number of years. She's quality golfer. It hits, like I say, still hits it hard now. I saw a video of her yesterday, funny enough. I think she's is she playing on the LPGA this week or the ladies?
I don't know if she's playing. Yeah, I don't know if she's playing this weekend. I'm not checked, but I'm sure she is.
She was on a pro-am yesterday. I saw her, and there was a video of her knocking one down just the first hole. Absolutely just going after it first hole. And you think, people do it. You look at some of the women that absolutely nuke golf ball. Their numbers are amazing. And that's quality.
Yeah, I agree, man. It's good, and it's funny because my girlfriend just started playing now, and like I always find that it depends what level, right? But normally the women are more kind of flexible. Like she's just super flexible naturally, and I'm just kind of old and stiff and playing so much football in my life. And the shots that she's able to hit and the swing she's able to do as a beginner golfer, like she makes me so jealous, like the movement she's got in the swing and stuff like that. Whereas I'm like, I have to do yoga every day just to be able to play some decent golf.
I've always had a bit of dodgy back, so I can turn up some mornings and I'm like, I'll take one practice swing on the range. I'm like, this is going to be hard work for the first. Until my back pops itself back where it's supposed to be. The first 5 holes are going to be stiff and horrible. But well, one of my friends is his wife's was the lady captain at our place, and it's a fantastic like lady section we had at Millbrook. And when I play with her, one thing I noticed, her putting's ridiculous. Like I think they've got such a gentle touch.
Sure.
It's I said to her all the time, I'd give my right arm to putt like you did the smooth stroke.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's fantastic. Yeah, it's fantastic. But I'd say there's a lot of trying to get more women into golf and girls at a younger age. And I think what I noticed at our place more than most was we had, when we were younger, there was a women's section, but it's never been massive, like 20. I don't know how many women members there are at Millbrook, but it's never been huge. It's never been too many of junior girls as well. So I think I've seen a lot of it at the moment about trying to get more junior girls into golf, because they play at such a high level and they compete at such a high level. Like I can't remember who you were talking to, one of your podcasts recently, the mixed male and female competition.
Fernanda Lira, the Mexican. She's a Mexican professional.
Yeah, they've competed against the European Tour guys, and she's come. I think she came third outright. I can't remember her name. I think it was. I think it was Amy Bolden. I think who came third. But why can't we get more junior golfers in there if they can be on Sky Sports competing against Henrik Stenson is a European Tour legend, Annika Sorenstam. You've got women out there that are at that level. It's fantastic, and should be more. But if your girlfriend's getting into it, that's great. My wife wouldn't. She wouldn't.
No chance.
No.
Why not?
I don't think she's sport orientated. She likes sport at all, if I'm honest. Well, it's me going to play sport, so I'm out of the house. But I think she likes. I don't think she'd sit and watch like the Masters with me, or
no. She would watch 4 days straight of golf.
No, I mean I sat up the other night watching the US Open downstairs on my own.
Me too.
I sit up and watch the Masters every year, and I'm on my own. Yeah, texting the mates that watch it, but
yeah, I can't get enough of it. Me, I mean, I was living in Mexico until about 2 months, well, probably about a month ago now when I got back to the UK. So there, it was perfect because I was watching everything and it was finishing at like kind of 5-6 p.m. in the afternoon. But then now, as you mentioned, there, I was the same. I stayed up to watch the US Open. I mean, not just because I had a bet on Louis Oosthuizen to win, but just because it was so gripping. And yeah,
That was brilliant.
I was up to like,
I was watching that through one eye.
2 a.m. wasn't it? I think in the end it finished. And then the last few weeks as well, like we've had 2 playoff wins.
Oh, the 8-hole playoff.
8-hole, and the last tournament I think was 5 in the end. So yeah, it's been some good golf recently. Looking forward to the Ryder Cup this September too.
Yes, it's one of my favourites. Absolute favourites.
Do you go to try and go to many of the tournaments? I know you mentioned you went when you won those tickets a while ago. Do you try and go and see any?
No, do you know what? Well, I haven't. I just haven't. No, but we've I think there's a European Tour event in August at the London Club in Kent, which isn't a million miles away from me. And there's a couple of guys that have said about trying to get tickets to go and watch that.
I was looking at some for that. I couldn't find any.
No, oh really? There you go. That might answer.
Yeah,
but you know, I've always wanted to watch the Ryder Cup. I know of a friend that went to the one in Paris a couple of years ago. I think he went to the practice day and to get tickets to day one, but he was like, it was amazing. Like it's like nothing you've ever seen. Like
imagine, man.
The way the crowd gets up, you know, don't get that at golf, do you? People cheering.
Not normally.
And you know, like people like back in the day, Ricky Fowler, or people cheering, actually getting them to cheer through your swing. That's just takes the golf to somewhere different.
I spoke about this a couple of times in different episodes. I mean, you do get it, don't you, on the PGA? Obviously, if you look at when Phil just won, well, not just won, but a couple of months ago now against Brooke, and you had that whole crowd following him again, kind of like the Tiger moment and whatever. So you get all that and the cheering. But yeah, I agree. Like Ryder Cup is just a different level. People singing like the players' names and all that kind of stuff. It's just a whole different level, and you get a lot of rivalries there as well, like the McIlroy Patrick Reed one that happened a while ago. So yeah, it's pretty good, man. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, that was things like that make the day more enjoyable though. Like I think as a spectator, you like that little bit of, well, all right, they're all mates. They enjoy each other's company on and off the golf course.
Sure.
But don't forget, at that time, you represent Europe, one represents USA. That Rory hushing the crowd. Yeah. And then Reed hold that iconic. It was a par 3, wasn't it? When
I think so.
Yeah. Hold a monster putt, and then Reed hold the same one. And you know, you can't do anything but clap that. But you remember McIlroy shushing the crowd that's like an iconic moment that you'll remember from the Ryder Cup. I remember Josh saying that he feels that McIlroy was Americanized. But that sort of thing makes you think, well, still remembers sort of where he comes from. And back in, was it the Medina comeback, obviously, the Miracle of Medina, when Justin Rolls hold that putt across the green on the 16th, and you got Phil Mickelson clapping him off the green, because you know how big of a moment that is in the match. That will change the whole tide. The crowd gets behind you. Just the Ryder Cup for me is just it's my favourite golf. That and the Masters. I agree. All day, every day, every shot. I'm sat. I'll watch it all.
Glued to the TV.
Yeah.
Listen, before we end this, I wanted to go back to your Instagram page, because we touched on it a little bit and then we kind of got off topic. But what's kind of your plans with the page then in terms of future content? Is there anything that you want to do in the future with the page? What can we expect to see from it?
Yeah, well, funny enough, I've just talking to my wife about that. She said, you want to be posting a bit more, which is great. But you want to have content that people are interested in. But obviously, I want to do it so that people, can see what I'm doing. But I will collabing with people as well. Like, obviously, this is so cool doing a podcast. This is not something I would have ever thought about doing. I don't know. Just never something that would have crossed my mind. As soon as you said it, I was like, yeah, that'd be so cool. Obviously, Josh yourself have talked about playing golf. Other people have said about, if you're ever down, we'll have a game.
Yeah.
But yeah, those sort of things are good. But you want to do them as well. You don't want just them to be words. So like collabing with people, meeting other people, just getting some interesting stuff on the page. But yeah, like I say, could be meeting other people, brands as well. Like I like engaging with companies. There's a couple that do some random stuff, like I don't know if you saw the other day the golf bag embroidery.
Yeah.
So obviously I can't remember who it was. There's a follower of mine who put something up. Shall I get my name put on my bag, or will I get the piss taken out of me? And I said no. I've said no. But then I come across one. And I was like, should I get my golf Instagram put on it? I'm not gonna get my name. I'm not. I always think that your names, when you have your name on it, someone thinks you're a professional. I'm not.
Totally, yeah.
I thought it'd be a bit of fun, bit of something for the page. Should I do it? Just it's only a pan on a golf bag, and I'd like something like everyone said yes. I think it was like 30 odd votes.
Yeah,
I've sent it off this afternoon. Just if that's being done, but that came from just coming across that page and thinking, I didn't know how easy that was. I didn't even know you could take my panel off your stand bag. That was possible. So that's gone this afternoon. Just things like that. They're, you're meeting companies or brands that that care about golf and potentially what you can do. And I think, like you said as well, when you're talking to the other podcast guys, the Bogey Boys, they've got a good following. It's interesting people. I've spoke to couple of times, just popped messages to guys that have got really good followings, like Golf Nation, like Ian Fraser, who does the TXG stuff.
I've got an episode sorted with him.
What, with Ian Fraser?
Yeah,
I think he's
great, man.
What he doesn't know about golf fit, what he don't know about golf fitting, ain't worth knowing.
Yeah,
I just think him and Matt Bloy, the guys that do that, it's interesting content. I just think they deliver it in such a good way that it's interesting. And I popped him a message ages ago about something. I can't remember what it was. I think it was about a pair of golf shoes, if I'm honest. And like he replied to me, and I'm thinking, you're a bloke who's clearly busy, got a really good following. You're approachable enough that you take the time to respond. And I like that. And I think it was when I started my page as well. I popped it to other content creators that have had success in the past, that have got big followings, like Ian, like Golf Nation, like Peter Finch, those sort of people, just to see if anyone would respond and if they had any tidbits or a bit of help. And about 3 or 4 responses from guys, and you think that, it's like I say, it's with the golf community, people are willing to talk, and I'm happy to see where it goes. I've never started it to want to be, never want to have 100,000 followers. If it gets there, amazing, but I just did it for a bit of fun and just told myself accountable, and I'm really enjoying it.
I think that's the main thing, mate. I mean, again, me and Josh talked about this a lot, and at the end of the day, if you're doing content and you're enjoying it, what you're doing, then
Pete, he was talking about trolls, wasn't he? I haven't been trolled yet. Or you say it can never happen, but if someone's trolling him about how much he practices or what times he practices,
feels sorry for those people.
Yeah, I think I would say to Josh, I did text him when I watched the episode, and I said, like, you're a bit of a hero for taking not a stand, but talking about mental health and his battle and struggle is hard, and that's half the battle, is actually talking about it.
For sure.
But if someone's got the time to troll you about how much you're practicing golf, then I feel sorry for that.
It's sad, isn't it?
He's clearly doing something right.
Yeah,
he's actually getting attention from someone. If you must be doing something right to get the negative attention, in my eyes.
I agree, man. Well, listen, it's been class talking to you, mate. Great to meet you. And I said we'd go for a round of golf, but I'm only going to play if you play an 8 over. If you play 1.1, I'm not playing with you.
That's fine. Mate, if you want to give me if you want to give me 8 shots around, I'll come and play anywhere. But no, we'll get a game. I know you're up north, and I'm down south. I'll travel to play a game of golf. It'd be good to get some content. I know we've spoken potentially about doing another chat with you and Josh at some point in the future.
Definitely.
Where things go, everything would be great.
Yeah, I'll have to catch you around soon, mate. And I said, I appreciate your time coming on, and thank you.
Thanks for having me, mate.
All right, thanks everybody.
Cheers, mate.